finally, the deal is done. And finally, we see Alexander Isak training. The first time he's trained with teammates for over 3 months. The saga is over and his relief is clear to see. Isak's deadline day deal meant he had a busy and long day, eventually arriving at the Sweden team hotel in the early hours, looking pretty exhausted. 10 hours later, after a decent sleep, he seemed up for the challenge. Sweden first, then Liverpool. How is he? Have you spoken to him? How's he feeling?
I haven't spoken with him too much because he just came. So yeah, I said hi to him and congratulated him for the move, and not so much more.
Because you had a move yourself to a big club, at times a difficult move. Do you have some sympathy for what he's been through?
Yeah, as I said earlier about my situation, I think it can be the same, that you don't really know what's been going on behind, and so I don't really know in his case what the situation has been exactly, so it's difficult for me to speak about that.
Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyokeres training together here earlier, together in the Sweden squad, and together when it comes to the spotlight this summer, being put on player power to force a move to a club the player wants to join. Twin strikers in more than one sense of the word. There's talk, obviously, of player power getting too important in the transfer market. Is that unfair to say that?
What do you mean?
Player power, like forcing moves.
I mean, we all play, and I think the clubs has the most power, and it's maybe difficult for the players to choose in a lot of cases, and when it's a player that's not wanted in a club, I think it's the total opposite, and he doesn't have any power, and the club can literally do whatever they want with the players. So it's difficult, but it's how the situation is.
Our reporter Gary Cottrell is there for us, and Gary, the question we've been asking, is he out there?
Yes, he is, and a lot closer actually to us this time than he was when you saw him train for the first time in 14 weeks yesterday, certainly for the first time with teammates. And as we get a ball on the try, but smiles all over his face. You could tell now, after a tiring, emotional day on Monday, he was probably a little bit tired as well yesterday, but still did all the training session with his Sweden teammates. Much more a smile on his face and relaxed today. And during that, they've just had a little break from doing some close work with the balls, passing, one-touch passing, and they taking on some fluids before they go out and carry on the training. We'll probably be allowed another 5 minutes worth of access. Interesting to hear from the head coach though. We won't unfortunately be hearing from Isak himself today. There was some speculation yesterday that after putting up Viktor Gyokeres, who spoke very well about him and about player power and defended himself and Isak in terms of forcing their moves, saying, well, if a club doesn't want a player, they get rid of them. Why shouldn't it be the same the other way around? As they walk back out now to continue training. As I say, Isak in full training yesterday and today, but he won't be hearing from him certainly today, maybe tomorrow after they've travelled to Slovenia, or maybe, as we spoke there to the head coach about instructions from Liverpool regarding him when he can play and how much he can play, might be instructions from Liverpool as well about maybe keeping him just a little bit away from the spotlight during the next couple of weeks. Out there as well, of course, with him, all these big stars now that Sweden have, the aforementioned Gyokeres out there, Anthony Elanga out there in that group as well. I wonder what his thoughts are about his ex-Newcastle teammate and what he's been like over the last couple of days here with Sweden. And the man we call Lucas Bergvall, and I'm very reliably told by local journalists that if you're going to pronounce it in the Swedish way, you pronounce it Lucas Bergvall. But I don't think going forward as he plays for Spurs week in, week out in the Premier League that any of our commentators are going to be pronouncing it that way. But a happy group. Alexander Isak fully now up to scratch in terms of being involved in full training, and as we heard from the head coach, expected to play some part in the next 2 games before returning to Liverpool. Turf Moor, isn't it, the first Sunday back, Super Sunday, the early kick-off, then Atletico.
Liverpool's training ground has turned into a theatre of dreams, And at the center of it all stands Alexander Isak, the £125 million man who's already rewriting the script at Anfield. Just 2 sessions into life under Arne Slot, and the buzz is deafening. The cameras captured everything: the elegance in his movement, the ruthless precision in his finishing, and the instant chemistry with stars like Salah and Nunez. This isn't just a transfer, it feels like the birth of a new Liverpool era. At 6 feet 4 inches, Isak isn't just towering physically, he's towering in presence. Every run, every touch, every smile exchanged with his teammates shows a man who isn't fazed by the world record price tag. Instead, he looks like he belongs. Slot's intense one-on-one coaching during drills revealed just how much Liverpool's new boss sees him as the centerpiece of his tactical revolution. Fans who managed to sneak glimpses couldn't believe their eyes. From blasting goals past Alisson to linking play with Salah in one-touch brilliance, Isak looked like the striker Liverpool fans have been praying for since the days of Fernando Torres and Luis Suarez. This isn't hype. This is history in the making. The whispers from inside the camp say the squad already respects his humility, professionalism, and hunger. Liverpool didn't just buy a player, they may have bought their future. Could Alexander Isak be the man to bring the glory days back to Anfield? Judging by this electrifying start, the answer feels inevitable.